too. Valentines are for everyone. After we all came back to the room for recess, Mrs. Wishy washed off Chloe's knee and put a band-aid on it. Then Chloe limped over to the rug to sit down. Excuse me, Mrs. Wishy. I don't know if I can bend this knee to sit down. Wah, wah, wah. She is such a drama queen, I whispered to Jessie. She's always whining about something. I know, Jessie whispered back. The way she's acting, you'd think she broke her leg. Jessie never whines or complains. She is one of the toughest kids in the class. In fact, she is one of the few kids who stands up to Max. She isn't afraid of him at all. I wish I could be more like Jessie. I like her a lot. She is a really good friend. Just then, Max's voice interrupted my thoughts. Oh, just sit down, you little baby, he yelled at Chloe. It's just a little scrape. It is not little at all. It's huge, she said. For your information, mister, it was bleeding all over the place. Bleeding all over the place, Robbie whispered. What planet is she living on? I think I saw 2 drops of blood. Jessie, Robbie, and I started to giggle. Stop laughing at me, Chloe said, pouting. It's not funny. It really hurts. Okay, that's enough, everyone, said Mrs. Wishy. Chloe, I think you're going to be fine. If you don't think you can sit on the rug right now, then just sit in a chair and put your leg out straight. Chloe pulled out a chair and slowly sat down. She stuck her sore leg straight out in front of her. Max spun around. Hey, watch it, you little priss. You just kicked me in the back. I did not. I was just sticking my leg out like Mrs. Wishy told me to do. Max started to push Chloe's leg back. Stop it, you're hurting me, she cried. You're hurting me. Mrs. Wishy ran over and stood in between the two of them. I don't want to hear another word out of either of you. Max, you need to go find another spot on the rug. But why me? He groaned. Because I said so, Mrs. Wishy answered. I want the two of you as far away from each other as possible. How about moving her to another class? Max said, pointing to Chloe. That's pretty far away, but not far enough. Now Mrs. Wishy was really angry. You could almost see the steam coming out of her ears. One more word out of you, Max, and you'll be going to see Mr. Pendergast. Mr. Pendergast is our principal. Max had actually been to see him a few times. Luckily, I had never been sent to the principal's office. It was not a place you wanted to go. Max found a seat at the front of the rug and finally decided to keep his mouth shut. Well, boys and girls, said Mrs. Wishy, I'm glad to see that everyone is ready to listen now, because we have some very important business to discuss. Does everyone know what special day is on Friday? Robbie's hand shot up. He is a genius. He knows all the answers. Yes, Robbie, said Mrs. Wishy. Friday is Valentine's Day. That's right. I just love Valentine's Day, Jessie whispered in my ear. Me too, I whispered back. On Valentine's Day, Mrs. Wishy went on, we are going to have a little party, and you can all pass out Valentines to your friends. Cool, I said. Next to Christmas, I think Valentine's Day is my favorite holiday. Chloe raised her hand. Excuse me, Mrs. Wishy, I have a question. Yes, Chloe. So for the party, we only have to make Valentines for our friends, right? That's a good question. No, you need to make one for everyone in the class. But you said that we were going to pass out Valentines to our friends. Not everyone in this class is my friend, she said, glaring at Max. That's not true, said Mrs. Wishy. We are all friends in this class. But, Chloe stammered. I agreed with Chloe on this one. I wasn't too excited about making a Valentine for Max. No buts, Chloe. I make the rules, and I say that you have to make a Valentine for everyone. You cannot pick and choose. Does anyone know why I made this rule? Robbie raised his hand again. Yes, Robbie, what do you think? I think you made the rule because you didn't want anyone's feelings to get hurt. That is exactly right, said Mrs. Wishy, smiling. Chloe, how do you think you would feel if Robbie got 20 Valentines and you only got 3? Three, Chloe laughed. I would get way more than 3. 3, I whispered to Jessie. She'd be lucky if she got that many. She should be glad that Mrs. Wishy has that rule. Well, This way I know no one will be left out, said Mrs. Wishy. So if you don't count yourself, you need to bring in 19 Valentines on Friday. I wrote everyone's name down on this note for your parents. You can check the names off as you go, and that way you'll know you've made one for everybody in the class. Jessie raised her hand. Can we put candy in the envelopes? Yes, Jessie, you can put a little piece of candy in your Valentine if it's okay with your parents. Just check with them first. My eyes got big just thinking about all that yummy candy. Any other questions? Yes, Freddie. What are we going to put all of our Valentines in? That's a great question, said Mrs. Wishy. Tomorrow we are going to decorate special bags to collect all the Valentines. How about treats? Max blurted out. How can you have a party without treats? Max, said Mrs. Wishy, you need to remember to raise your hand and not just call out. To answer your question, we will be having some treats on Friday. I'm not going to tell you right now. I'll let it be a surprise. I love surprises, Jessie whispered. Me too, I said, smiling at her. This was going to be the best Valentine's Day ever. I was going to give to surprise Jessie with the biggest, best Valentine she ever saw.